much heat for it. Shout out to boxing, whatever to do, BoxingEgo or whatever. What is it called? Something like that. Shout out to whoever I heard say this. But he said that he's constantly calling people out like he's a smoke fighter. He's not a smoke fighter. And the guy that gave us that information was BoxingEgo. So I wanted to put some respect on his name.
Hey, yo, Ego Thoughts, man. We got to talk. Shakur Stevenson just beat Artem Harutyunyan. He's being met with a lot of criticism, and some are relegating this to racism, which I want to talk about because I see it a completely different way. And since I'm the best in the business and it's not even close, hear me out. So I put this tweet, and I think this illustrates what I was trying to say to the point. So let me read it. Hashtag unpopular opinion. Some are trying to relegate Shakur Stevenson's style being unappealing to racism. Only problem is you have people of the culture, and this does include black people like Mason Betha, C. Senorita, Fabio Foreign, Nick Young, etc., who are all saying that Shakur's fight lacked bite action and excitement. So are all of these people racist too? And see, this is the thing I don't like. What's dangerous about this is it really hurts when people like myself call out the true racism in boxing or in sports or in the world when you label everything as racist. And I think that can be very dangerous, and I'll expand on that further. But let's get through the tweet. Shakur Stevenson has skills, but his fights lack appeal. But that has nothing to do with him being black. Robert Easter Jr. versus Rancis Bartholomew was a horrendous fight. I don't give a what color they were. You're not finna tell me that it was a fun fight to watch. And I like Bunny, Robert Easter, but some fights just don't dazzle. Deal with it. End quote. And I truly feel I expressed myself so well in that tweet. That's why I wanted to read it verbatim. So here's the skinny of it, mate. The thing is this. Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. He's a talented fighter. He has skills. His fights don't have that appeal. I don't care what nobody's talking about. It's the way he fights, especially the higher the level of danger or trickier the style, especially if they have some awkward movement, athleticism, power, these types of things, and they're not just like one-dimensional. Shakur Stevenson kind of fights one-dimensionally. Now, I'm not talking about one-dimensional because you have to understand the term one-dimensional in boxing. People always use that usually when they're saying a negative, like this brawler is one-dimensional. But I disagree. I don't think it's just with a whack style you could be one-dimensional, right? One-dimensional is just a blanket term to suggest like almost like a one-trick pony, one mode. It doesn't necessarily mean you're one-dimensionally plodding forward and you have no jab, no defense. That's not what it means. Now, again, there's a lot of examples when people use the word and they say these things, these phrases like one-dimensional. A lot of times that's what they're meaning. But if you think about it, Shakur Stevenson is pretty one-dimensional. He does the same in every fight. He looks the same in every fight. And for the advanced listeners, they'll understand it straight away. Some people, they're going to be like, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? I watch a lot of boxing. I've been in the game boxing. You guys know, I'm not even going to go into detail. It is what it is. You're on my channel. Hear my opinion. But here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather, I've seen him get to the promised land, get to the bag, get the victory in a multitude of ways. I never seen Floyd Mayweather do one style, one size fits all, a snapback style versus whoever. The way he fought Zab Judah, Zab was winning early rounds and was perhaps faster than him. So Floyd made mad adjustments and he started stabbing and sticking to the body, jabbing to the solar plexus. So he doesn't do that same exact game plan with everybody. But he had to do that with Zab Judah. Or when Shane Mosley hurt, Floyd Mayweather in the second round, the dog had to come out because you got rocked up. The world's seen it. You're Money Mayweather. So he had to walk Shane down and, bite down on his mouthpiece, blase blah. Then other fights like Guerrero and Canelo, he made those fights look pretty easy, right? So Floyd is fighting different ways. The way he's fighting Arturo Gatti, rest in peace, Chico, Diego Corrales, he's fighting in different ways. Same thing with even Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, if you watch his very old stuff, when they was calling him Rambo, right? Gervonta Davis was mad more aggressive. Like his style was more aggressive. He's just trying to get you out of there. Now this new Gervonta Davis is like he's entered his Money Mayweather era, but he just has a lot of power. That's the only difference. He hasn't kept moving up to a crazy division where his power is more, the guys can't deal with his power at this current division. But he's in his Money Mayweather bag where he's using his brain a whole lot more and seeing what you got, checking your speed, checking your power, and then setting traps. Like if you look how he fought Rolly versus look how he fought Pedraza, and you look how he fought Frank Martin, it's kind of how he fought Rolly. But then when he fought Pitbull Cruz, it was different. And then he messed up his hand, so then he had a box. You see what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, the reason I'm saying one trick pony is he is controlling distance very well, using his bias. Some of the shots are wisdom bias, so he's just basically using defense. But on the other side of that coin is the offense, and that's what people feel is lacking. And I don't want to hear all these stupid comments about, oh, not everyone's going to be Mike Tyson. Blood, there's a lot of people in boxing that aren't the most craziest punchers that you've ever met, but they can hurt guys. Caleb Plant, he's one that's been criticized in the past, and people said he didn't have much power. He took a world level Anthony Durrell and former, I think, 2X champion Anthony Durrell, and he knocked him out with one shot. Timing is everything. You've never really seen that with Shakur at the highest of levels. I was also at Caleb Plant's fight when he fought Jose Uzcategui. He dropped him, I want to say 2 times. This is off the top of my head, but I was at the fight. He dropped him and he was lacing him. You see what I'm saying? Or Vincent Fainsbutts, I think the guy was from Germany, right? He stopped him. Shakur Stevenson's in there, and no matter who he's in there with, there's rarely a stoppage. Literally, the last time he got a stoppage, I believe, was when he fought Yoshino. I didn't even know who that was when Top Rank announced that fight. I literally didn't know no Yoshino. So to me, that wasn't impressive. And it was a mercy stoppage anyway, because if you know Japanese fighters in general, a lot of them are just tough and pretty durable. So Shakur was winning and he was beating the dude and beating up on the dude. But I guarantee you there's a strong likelihood that the guy probably could have made it 12 rounds. So that was like a mercy stoppage, we want to go home stoppage. That was not like a legit stoppage like what Tank got versus Frank Martin. Bro, if Frank Martin, if the ref allowed that fight to continue, that would be negligence. And the referee and the commission, they could all be sued or liable because that would have been bad for Frank Martin. Or if you look at Carmel Moulton on the Nate Diaz or a Masvidal fight, right? Carmel Moulton was beating up some like 36-year-old or whatever age the dude was. If I think it was Jack Reese or whoever the ref was, if they allowed the fight to continue the way he was getting punished, yeah, I mean, you could really wreck this guy. Shakur Stevenson's really not doing that. Artem's face at the end of the fight looked cool. His face versus Frank Martin looked like the signs of an actual fight. So people are trying to turn this into race issue and say, oh, Crawford said to be your own people. Listen, it has nothing to do with your own people. It's like, bro, there's so many people. Like, why would you even say that? It be your own people. But it's not just black people complaining about Shakur Stevenson's fight. I'm seeing Mexican people. I'm seeing white people, black people. I feel like Cheech from Dusk Till Dawn. We got black people, white people, Mexican, the hairy dog, chicken. Like, there's not just black people. So I'd resent that because I know that's not true at all. You can't just say it's black people, it's ninjas that is saying that this about Shakur Stevenson. And then here's the thing. If your angle is this, we supposed to be people, we supposed to be brothers. Bro, it don't work like that. So you black, so you gotta like the DC sniper. You can only condemn Ted Bundy and Jeff Dahmer if you black, but you can't condemn the DC sniper because he black. Man, stop. There ain't nobody playing by that game. Fun fights are fun fights. Boring fights are boring fights. You're not going to convince people otherwise. And again, the real reason why I have to set the record straight is because you have people pushing these weird narratives, weirdo narratives, instead of just admitting what it is. Shakur Stevenson's style is effective, but unappealing. That's it. No more, no less. If he's happy with it, if you're happy with it, good. Support all his fights, watch his fights. If Clarissa Shields and Bud like it and they think this is the dopest thing and Shakur's good. That's your little bro. Keep watching all his fights. But for the rest of the world that wants to keep it real and feels that his fights lack some bite and there's just other fight, like you can't tell me, I don't care if you black or whatever, you can't tell me the Bam Rodriguez fight wasn't more fun to watch with Estrada than Shakur Artem Harutyunyan. Listen, I'm gonna ask y'all the question. We gonna get to the bottom of this. You're not gonna make this no black issue. Boring is boring, or lesser fights, entertaining wise, are lesser fights. Let me know Bam Rodriguez versus Estrada or Shakur versus Artem. What fight you had more fun watching? Again, this is just this styles make fights. When Errol Spence fights, nobody says this. Win, lose, or draw, ain't nobody saying Errol's in the worst boring fights. I was at the Sean Porter fight. That was one of my favorite fights of the year and probably one of my favorite all-time fights in PBC fight history. You see what I'm saying? Sean Porter brought it, Errol brought it. Fun fight. Wilder is usually in fun fights, prime Wilder. So it's not a black thing, it's we ain't feeling it. People in Newark, where he's from, were leaving. So everybody's just racist. Like, come on, bro. We can't do that. And again, the funny thing is people want to be like, oh, it be your own people and black people, can't we get along and all this type of jazz. But here's the thing. Some of the same people constantly diss Gervonta Davis. So how's that work? If it's about black power and black unity and I'm black, y'all, I'm black to black to black, y'all. If that's what it is, then how are you okay with Bill Haney calling Gervonta Davis a monkey? How are you okay with all the Tank slander that he gets and people hating on Tank? Tank is not dealing with any of this type of criticism. Are there racists that hate Tank? Absolutely. Are there some racists that hate Shakur Stevenson? Yeah, if you're racist and you hate black people, then you're not gonna like them. I get that. But with Shakur particularly, people are trying to make it like the overwhelming majority of people that are complaining about Shakur Stevenson is due to racism. Stop it, bro. The fight just wasn't all that like that. Stop playing. People didn't get mad at Keyshawn Davis's fight like this. That had a little bit more action to it. No more, no less. And here's the thing that's crazy. You got some Shakur apologists. They're blaming racism for Shakur Stevenson and the hate, alleged hate, because they have critiques on a person that won. But then you got Terrence Crawford and he's saying it's be your own people. So which one is it? Is it black people or is it racist? Or is it just Shakur Stevenson's fights aren't the most electrifying? Because when Crawford fights Madrimov, I don't think it's going to be this response. When Tank Davis fights, it's never this response. So in boxing, we got to start doing a better job. Not we, y'all got to do a better job of just calling what it is. You don't have to make up no fairy tales. You don't have to go to Narnia and take these journeys and stuff. Shakur is a good little fighter. His style is not the most exciting, period. He's tried to step on the gas. People still respond to how they want it. It is what it is. But to try to go in these it'd be your own people and you guys are racist, and there's all these narratives instead of just addressing the elephant in the room, which I've said and May said and whoever else, is just like, man, we just expected a little bit more. Like, And again, it's not some people, this is the other narrative. Some people are like, oh, you guys are bloodthirsty for knockouts. No, there's a lot of fights that don't necessarily, I don't even know if Kenneth Sims versus Abu Kakarov or whatever dude's name was. I don't even know if that had any knockdowns. I don't remember. But I know that was a fun fight to watch. And Kenneth Sims is not the biggest puncher. And if you don't believe me, go watch it. Go watch Kenneth Sims versus Akhmedov. It was a fight that happened in Las Vegas last year. Excellent fight. So you have a black fighter in there with a dude from the Ukraine, and it was a great fight. And again, Kenneth Sims, he's not the biggest puncher out there. His KO percentage is 35%. So yeah, when Shakur talks, tweets, says I'm gonna get the knockout and all this type of stuff, then of course he's putting more pressure on himself, which I said from the beginning. Ego thoughts, deuces.